Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chaotic Neutral Games. And it's great to be back after quite a hectic week, it has to be said. So, when you're writing a campaign, one sticking point can be why adventurers stay adventurers. Short of an unavoidable impending doom or a sworn duty, you have to explain why a group of people who maybe banded together to defeat a band of goblins attacking their village stuck to it to near godhood at level 20. Other times, why a character would choose to continue to endanger themselves when they have already earned more money than the whole family would have earned in their entire life. Thankfully, in the case of our obsessive tabaxi, these reasons come pre-packaged with their own agenda, and the rest of the party will need to go as well to stop Eclipse from dying to her own folly. So let's rejoin our party in Ostergold as they prepare to set sail to the Hermit's Isle in episode 62, not 52, bloody hell, 62 of the Benefactor.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. So,
where are we? What are you doing in my house? Get off my lawn, you damn kids!
Nick's lost it already.
Yeah, it's just started and we already lost it.
Okay, you're assuming he had it. So
I was going to go with that one person.
So, you guys are all downtimed up. Glory's done some enchantment, so all of your various enchantments are now made and hopefully added to character sheets.
Ooh, talking about enchantments. Kate, who is wearing the pendant Glory gave you? You or Farewell? The Periath.
Didn't I say? Oh, I feel like I said I gave it to Farewell at the time. I can't remember. I think it was said in the game.
Yeah, because I don't remember, but I know that I gave you one and said either you wear it or you give it to Farewell because this will save you if you're about to die.
Yeah, and I think I would have given it to Farewell because it makes sense as well that he can heal others if it's needed. So it makes more sense, I think, for him to have it.
He's got it for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So you are now preparing for a trip. You were told by Garrett and by a number of others about the Hermit's Isle that was once a monastery to penitents for Pelor, which triggered something in your guys' memories because you remember that the Underhill Hermitage was also a retreat to Pelor, although the Underhill Hermitage seemed to be somewhat corrupted. The penitents of Pelor don't usually go in for full-on flagellation and self-torture. The Hermit's Isle, on the other hand, is just about living in a simple way away from the temptations of society and allowing themselves to just live under Pelor's light um, until they find themselves able to move on in his name and start doing his works, or some people stay there their whole lives and just manage to find peace with the god of light. However, this particular monastery befell a strange fate. It was cut off, damn near forgotten about from society for the longest time. Hundreds upon hundreds of years. And strange tales from the sailors came from there, so much so that people decided to just leave them there. They wanted to be hermits after all, so you're only agreeing to their wishes. And you hear about one tale in particular, that as a ship was getting very close to the island, a dishevelled figure with a rotten face ran up to the edge of the pier, screaming in strange tongues. However, you are very certain, Eclipse of the Moon, that one of the canopic jars that leads to the heart of Juradan is on this island. And so, you are now in the middle of preparations with your folding boat to brave the high seas around Ostergold and head off to the Hermit's Isle. What are you doing?
Prepping. So we're gonna go and just talk to Jacob and people for. It's Jacob, isn't it?
Yep. Jacob is the archaeologist. He's a dwarven archaeologist.
Yeah, talk to Jacob and Garrett as well, that we're going there.
Sure.
And Glory will check with the Green Organization if she can procure some water breathing potions for safety since they're heading out to sea.
Sure.
No,
You're
speak for
currently in
yourself.
some level of favour. So they turn around and say, well, yeah, I mean, we can extend you that. How many do you need?
3 is enough, I think. Yeah, because Farewell can already breathe underwater, so it's fine.
Fair enough. And the requisitioner gives you 3 healing potions of water breathing, and says these are for emergency only, not for jollies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're expensive. Fair enough. Off you go.
Goody goody.
Seems to be quite short with you for some reason. Anybody else? What preparations are you going to be doing? You already said you were going to see Garrett and Jacob. So Garrett hasn't got a great deal extra. He's looked through and he reveals that he's been to the university to check out a bit more about it all. There are some writings from some of the monks that came. That's lowercase m for monks. They are not all martial arts experts. They are penitents, as I say, low-level clerics. And he says most of them, it's about the nature of peace and tranquility. They talk about contrast. They talk about denying themselves the light so that they can feel the light within themselves, and then basking in the light when they find that they are losing and becoming something other than the light of life. And the rest of it is all about the dual aspect of the God of Light, the Everchild, and the Allfather. And he shows you a diagram, and it has a gender-neutral child looking up at the light with a look of awe and fascination and wonder. And also there is a blazing golden figure with a huge beard, because why not, holding a staff with a lantern on the top of it. And the lantern holds what seems to be constellations inside, and a sun that is coming out of the top of the lantern. Completely bathed in light. And go for those of you who know Brian Blessed, doing the whole kind of ha-ha kind of thing.
Gordon's alive!
Yeah. So very rambunctious and happy. Both of the figures seem to exude a joyfulness about it all. But from two different areas, the joy of innocence and the joy of kind of an assertive joy, I guess. Maybe one is the creator of joy and the other one is the witness of joy. There's lots of things about that. You can look through some of the books if you want.
Yeah, you said that the focus from this temple was the Everchild, or was it the Allfather?
This one's the Everchild. They go out to seek the innocence within themselves, the innocence lost. A lot of the penitents that came here had very difficult lives beforehand, whether it be down to either sins that they committed or sins that were committed upon them, hardships, mistreatment, things along those lines. They found peace here.
All right, and it was okay. Just getting some information that we was said a few sessions ago, but we just need to remember. So it was attacked. The island was attacked a few years ago.
That's correct.
Yeah. And the monks are no longer there. Although they thought they weren't there, but then people went to look there and there were still people there and they were telling them to go away. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little hazy. They know there was definitely an attack on the island. They hadn't heard much from the monks before, but they heard absolutely nothing afterwards. No trading boats went there or anything like that. They needed certain things that they just couldn't get on the island. But yeah, no boats went there. In fact, anybody who had an arrangement there before, no longer.
Okay. So we're probably gonna find some sort of monks, but it might be undead, it might be something else. We have no clue. It's the answer to that.
That's a good theory.
Yeah. Okay. But yes, I will have a look around in the books to see if there's anything we can find out more about. Specifically, the aspect of the Everchild I think would be important here with regards to the temple and also the history of the temple, if there's any books on that.
Cool. Give me your choice of investigation or religion.
Investigation. Ugh. Am I rolling in a good advantage because I'm in a library?
Sorry.
What is it? Oh, lucky! Yes, lucky!
Oh, sorry, that was a terrible cough of mine. Oh, sorry about that.
Better. Thank you. I used one luck point.
Okay. So, what is the result?
24.
24. You start reading about the type of monastery that it is. And it is the Penitent of the Courageous type of monastery. And these are the types who learn to become paladins and clerics that take the light into the darkness, whether it be into the Shadowfell, the Underdark, or just into dungeons and things like that in general, or places of evil. They will find the light within themselves, and once they end up connecting with Pelor in that way, in game terms, level up enough, they go out into the world and they take the light to where people need it the most. They are usually selfless healers, and usually the people at the front protectors. Yep. So they will protect, for example, archaeologists going down into dungeons. They will lead rescue parties for people, for miners who have fallen into the Underdark. They will normally be very selfless after this because they believe that they've already led a full life in one of these monasteries. But as you read into it, there are some criticisms from other people within the faith about the methods by which they do this, even though it's voluntary. Most of these monasteries are placed on areas where there is a resonance of some evil, usually in the dark. It'll be a cave or a chasm or something along those lines where they will go to where the light is not, and they will meditate in the darkness. Strangely, to meditate on the god of light, they separate themselves from all sources of light, so that they can focus within themselves, find the metaphysical light of life within them, and use it. Then, once they realize and can feel it within themselves, part of a very intensive training, quite harrowing training, normally the people who go through it come out quite gaunt and washed out, kind of like a very kind of weak demeanor. And then they spend the rest of their time above the surface, and they find themselves almost reborn in Pelor's light. They very quickly grow stronger, more confident, more energetic, and they go from being incredibly weak to the point of being frail like the elderly, to being very full of life and energy. In game terms, it's like gaining 5 levels within like a week. But the vigil that they have in the darkness, not many people can survive it. And by survive it, I don't mean they die. They will run out screaming, return to their regular lives, and just try to live as good a life as they can. Usually with a fear of darkness after that, which is why it gets the criticism. It's not the nicer way of finding the light of hope and goodness. But for some people, it appeals.
Yeah. Can I find any connection to this and Jordan the Great at all? Why this temple specifically is connected to the canopic jaw itself?
Okay, give me a history roll.
Ooh. That's a dirty 20.
Okay. You plot some of the things that you've seen before, and that is the ship movements from Austran to South Vardencourt. And you find that these islands are slap bang in the route that they would have taken to get to mainland Vardencourt, or what is now known as Vardencourt. By looking at how some of their tactics at the time, they would normally find defensive places to make supply drops, and use them as holding stations as they waged their kind of marine war, and started to take out the minor lords and barons of the area. By the looks of it, it could well be that this island, the way it's shaped, the way it's situated, could have been a major supply depot for the Juradan fleet. And the fact that it has a natural hollow inside, a natural cave, which is something that you've already been told about, it could have been a place where they could have stored things that would normally spoil in the cold, out of the way of the sun and the wind. Very little contamination, and yeah, it seems like just a natural building stood there in the sea that they would be able to utilize.
Right. Okay, so it's essentially, it might have been a supply depot, and that's how that's connected, and the temple was built later.
It looks for all the world like that seems the most convenient explanation. At a dirty 20, you just get that kind of link, and you're there saying, yeah, out of all the other islands, I choose this one.
Yeah. Okay.
All the others
Well,
are
we're
either
gonna find
too
out.
close to the water or too small.
Yeah, we're probably gonna find out once we get there, but that is what we have right now. So I found some background information. You guys go.
Yeah. So farewell. How are you preparing?
Oh, Phil's not gonna really. It's not really gonna need to do much. I mean, he imagines that most everyone else will pick the stuff up, so he's just gonna stick to his routine. So he'll do his morning rounds. You know, he'll go down into Freetown and check on the most of the people that he always checks on, especially Cora's family and
The baby. The baby.
No, the child is fine.
Meaty.
Oh, we just lost. Oh,
Here she comes.
yeah.
My
he
phone
will,
does that stupid thing again.
So yeah, he will do his normal rounds. He'll check on people that he needs to check on. Will make himself available. He will hop in to Hobra and just see if he can just liaise with it for a moment. I'm quite happy for us to come back to this a bit later. And we can pick some stuff, mainly because my brain is a little all over the shop and I can't remember the questions that I wanted to ask, and I had them written down and I can't remember where I put that piece of paper. So we will save that for another moment.
So just a little bit of flavour with... you were saying Hobra, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, we will double back to this conversation when you're capable of having it, but we'll say that you visited Hobra and we'll do a flashback. Hobra at the moment is taking stories from the Siege of Ostergald and from the Freetown March, and she's putting together a kind of commemorative magazine, I guess you'd call it. It's a broadsheet, but it's a broadsheet that's going to be solely about that one day, with all the stories of heroics, of losses. So there's going to be some poignant stories. There's going to be heroic stories. There's going to be some informational content. It's like, what are these demons? And have like sketches of the various demons that were part of the siege. And describing the shovelers, the Geminax, the Inquisitors, and a few others that you weren't quite sure what they were at the moment, and you're like, oh right, it was one of those. Oh great. And so they're putting together a kind of who's who of the siege, and there is when you go in and chat to her, one of the things that she will mention to you is that when you get back, she wants interviews from you all.
Ferrelby would very politely suggest that Eclipse and Glory would be the best people to talk to start off with, on the basis that the two of them would probably talk for Ostergold, and as such, Cora and Farewell could absolutely get out of not having to do it and go do something infinitely more fun and naughty.
Sure. Okay. So I'm presuming that the night before you're going to be preparing certain spells for being on the sea anyway. So
yeah, I already did that before the stream.
Okay, cool. Cora, I'll double back around to Glory because we talked about enchantment before. But what are you doing?
Did you just say Cora or Glory?
Cora.
Oh, I'm totally paying attention.
I swore my head Glory as well, so I don't think it's you.
No, exactly. And then you said enchantment.
I mentioned Glory as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
He said he
I'll
would double back to me.
Okay, sorry.
He said Cora before that, so...
Okay, it's not just me then, good. I don't, to be honest, I don't know if Cora's doing much preparation at all. She's just like, Yeah, I'm trying to decide whether or not she's ever been on the water before. She might have in small boats, but I'm not sure she's done any big trips. So I think she's probably just a bit excited about doing something a bit different and getting out the city again, and going on an adventure that hopefully doesn't involve demons. So yeah, she's probably hanging around the docks, maybe just watching the sailors trying to
always
learn.
finally get to teach you how to swim that Farewell's been promising to do for like.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, she's just sort of chilling because she's sort of expecting that Eclipse knows what she's doing. Though she's probably like checked with Eclipse if she needs any help with anything, if she can help or whatever. But other than that, she's just chilling and probably staring at the folded up boat, waiting to just open it. It's like, come on,
this little brick, yeah.
Yeah,
This little
yeah.
wooden brick.
Yeah.
And remember, this was an emergency craft for the institute, so it's got
Absolutely.
institute kind of
Wintering craft.
markings on it. There's a couple of things regarding the day that you described to me. So first of all, Eowyn kind of takes you to one part of the dock where there's not so much going on, and she says, "There's something that you're going to have to learn how to do. Have you heard of presentation before?"
Well, presenting yourself, you mean? I mean, I know about presentation, like...
No.
No?
It's in the Feywild. It's slightly different. So when you have a disagreement with somebody and you can't resolve it through the usual means, you have to duel, and we call it presentation. It's things aren't as permanent in the Feywild. You can destroy each other, true, but most duels don't really end that way unless one of the combatants refuses to step down, and then it gets a little, well, serious then. But normally you'll be defeated, but not killed. There's an etiquette to it. Can I show you? And then she flutters down to the floor, and there's a little rat in the corner, and she starts to dance around the rat, declaring her enmity for the rat, and denouncing the rat, denouncing its character, claiming that it is a liar. And she said, that's a really big insult. If you call somebody a liar, they normally have to defeat you, otherwise it's kind of true. It's like a trial by combat, except your accusations are held up if you win. And she kind of goes forward with this tiny little sword and is like, have at you. You practice false love. That's terrible. And she's there and she's kind of dueling with this rat. The rat is kind of there going...
Are they rap battling?
And
You get -1 inspiration.
Oh, come on, it was right there.
She's rat battling. The rat is fairy battling.
She's
No,
rapping
fairy.
the rat.
Yeah.
yeah, I have to keep remembering you're not a forest gnome, so you don't understand what the rat is saying.
No.
Both not forest or gnome. Weirdly, the rat is neither attacking or fleeing, but just kind of hissing at her, and she goes, "How dare you!" And then she launches herself at the rat, and the rat kind of runs away. And you absolutely swear you heard that rat laugh.
Eowyn, I mean, that was hilarious.
She dives
Wonderful.
off the pier and after the rat.
What? Okay. Am I meant to duel
There's a
someone?
flash of light underneath the pier, and you hear it. Eek!
Rat murderer.
And Eowyn comes back up, her sword in her scabbard, going, "There was no need to be rude. I was only doing a demonstration." And she flutters up at your shoulder and she goes, "Well, that's kind of it.
Wait.
You kind of just..."
Okay, yeah, you call someone a liar, and then you jewel. What? Sorry, can we get back to why? Why do I have to fight a sailor just to get on a ship? Is that the idea? You fight everyone you meet?
No, this is about the Feywild, not about sailing. Oh, sorry, didn't I mention that to start with?
I was... Well, you mentioned in the Feywild, but I thought you were talking about presenting yourself at sea. So you mean...
No, this is courtly behaviour. Oh, I've made a mess of it.
So but next time I'm there, I need to jewel someone. Is that what we're saying?
No, only if you need to. So if somebody slights your name,
Right.
or if somebody slights, and especially if they slight Enola's name, you're her heart's guard. Remember, yeah.
Well,
So if they insult her, you're her champion that needs to come forward and teach them a lesson.
Right. Okay, yeah. No, totally. I would do that. I would do that anyway. But you're saying there's a certain way to do it.
Yeah.
Primp about a bit.
The rules change
hiss
if
at a
they're
rat.
trying to kill you so that they can take her hand in marriage. But it's fine. You know, it's just start off with the small duels. It's fine.
Okay, I feel I missed something in the middle there about people trying to kill me. But okay. Cool. Have you ever been to sea?
Not really.
Okay. No, me neither.
I used to live near a lake once. My second cousin is.
I saw a lake once. That's a sea, right?
She's very small, probably.
Yeah, and she just
All
said
about context.
she said her second cousin is a lily, which didn't quite make sense, but yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You want to get a drink?
The only
Except
other
one.
thing that happens on the pier is you do see that the Shacklemen are loading the last of their supplies into the ship, and somebody comes up and is talking to Bloodwind Bloodaxe, and she goes, "No, she didn't steal it. It's fine. It's fine. I let her have it. I mean, he has one, so I thought she better have one, so I gave her binder." And that's all you hear of that snippet of conversation, and she heads onto the ship.
Cool.
It makes sense to other canon bits I put in the past. So, okay. So if you're sorted, Glory, what are you doing to prepare for this voyage?
First of all, she is packing some clothes that will actually survive the salty water winds and stuff, because God knows that her current outfit won't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, stock up my health potions again, because after the last battle, it might be good.
Yep, you get given your regular allocation.
Yeah, exactly. Is there anything else that needs to be done? Yeah, probably leave a message to Emanuela that I'll be away from the city for a few days.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she will relate the intel back to Scara.
That's also good. They'll figure it out anyways.
Yep.
I mean, with Insight having an entire division of scryers, she'd figured it out if she wanted to anyways. Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy. Other than that, I don't know. I have my water breeding, we have the boat. Do we have rations for enough days? Yeah, probably. It's just stock up a little bit.
You can get them, yeah. Things like rations from the Green Organization is simple enough.
It's nothing.
You would pretty much just talk to Noki, and Noki would send the supplies down to the dockside.
I'm grabbing the circle for Ostegald.
Sure. You take a couple of hours to trace the circle, teleportation circle for Ostergold. It is now in your book.
Nice. Because that might be nice to have to go back once we've been done there. Just like, instead of taking a long boat journey, like, nah, just like, pop back. Hello, everyone. Our boat is foldable anyways.
They give you the full description of the circle, and it is Public Circle, Ostergold University.
Mm-hmm.
There are several circles there. They're giving you the public access.
Yep. As expected.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything else I really need to prepare.
Okay. You do get a letter whilst you're preparing, and when you open it up, it says, "My dearest Glory Tezcacotl, I am a sponsor of the young man that you know as Aiden Canelm. I wish to keep a correspondence with you, if I may. Any information that may be pertinent to either his or your missions. I hope this will be a free exchange of information in the spirit of cooperation and friendship. Yours sincerely, Vincente Strauss." The handwriting is incredibly old. It's classic copperplate handwriting.
I was gonna say, isn't that the vampire?
That is the vampire. Okay, that is good. I am gonna write down Aiden informant vampire dude. Forget remembering the name. We know who I'm writing
Strauss! Because every vampire is named Strauss.
Yes.
Vlad.
And it gives you a return address of Vincente Strauss, Innenstadt, Post Office, Verstadt.
Well, yeah, I will keep that. That will be useful. I'll pen a letter while we're out at sea because we want to leave as soon as possible because now the cat has her catnip and she won't stop bugging us.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're all ready, you head down to the docklands. There are barrels and crates and all sorts of stuff, and a tiny little brick on the top with emergency escape craft, warning, only use in sources of water.
Yeah,
can I pop
let's
it?
go.
Can I? Do we need
Yes.
other people?
Good.
I mean, I've never sailed before. I don't think the boat comes with a crew.
I think it's quite a small boat.
Let's
could be
find
a
out.
small
And
boat.
I throw it into the water.
It depends. It has free
Did you push the
command.
button? Did you push the button? As the thing sinks to the bottom of the lake and
Well,
doesn't
I do
activate.
whatever. I do. I sort of like because I don't know what's gonna happen. So is it look like it's a box that opens?
It has the instructions on the box.
Oh.
I've just got this mental image of Cora not reading it and just going yeet and just throwing it into the water.
I'm gonna say, yeah, that's exactly what she does. She eats it into the water.
Boaty McBoatface, I choose you.
Would you
Nothing
mind
happened.
getting it again?
Fine. I take off my kit, and luckily for me, I can now just very quickly take off my armor, and I jump in the water, and I go and find the bot.
Yep. You get to the bottom, and it's. I don't know if they still do this, but it's retrieving the brick at the bottom of the pool. You grab the brick and you swim back up, no problem at all.
What?
There's.
I thought when it hit the water, it would go poof.
And they
the
say I
command
don't
word.
read instructions.
You know, like how the carpet works?
I don't know, and I read the instructions.
Okay.
I'm
It
floating
says-
in the water, and I just sort of go, read the instructions.
It says in small rivers or channels to move out of landlocked areas, say conveyance at the brick, and it says in brackets, pending the brick will know. And this device will turn into a oarboat, and it has a little diagram of what is basically a longboat, but has a pair of oars. It's 10 feet long and 4 feet wide, and you can put like 4 people in it. And then it says the second word is sloop, and it will cause and it says warning: only perform this word in large expanses of water. And it points out that it'll turn into a ship 24 feet long, 8 feet wide, 6 feet deep, with a deck, rowing seats, 5 sets of oars, a steering oar, an anchor, a deck cabin, a mast with a square sail, and it can take 15 people.
Okay, so we're not going to pull this yet because we need a crew. Anybody know a crew? Anyone?
There's a very amused-looking Kalashtar woman, standing very piratey with one leg up on the rail, looking at you with her arms crossed and a very satisfied look on her face. Well, a very amused look on her face. She goes, "Have you figured it out yet?"
You
Yeah.
or the box?
You can't figure me out, honey. Have you figured the box out yet? By the way, you say retrieve to it, and it has to be the person who said the first word to say retrieve to get it to pack back down. Some dickhead can't just come along and turn it back into a brick whilst you're on it.
Right.
You're a crew.
Conveyance.
What?
I have the box in my hand.
And yeah, Farewell is now underneath a rowboat.
What?
A husky and mellifluous laugh comes from the Kalashtar. So she's wearing very pirate chic clothing. She has what seems to be a brace of pistols at her belt, a cutlass. She's got a tricorn hat and these beautiful cornrows going down her back. She's got skin bronze, slightly darker than Noki, and the telltale Kalashtar golden orbs for eyes. And she's just there guffawing on the side of the deck as you're there going, retrieve, retrieve! And it's kind of folding back in, and you have a nonplussed Farewell underneath.
I float back
Right.
up to the
Do
surface
not
with the
let
box.
Eclipse
I
or
just sort-
Cora use boat.
You just sort of see Farewell's eyes just appear above the waves, and he just stares at Eclipse.
I'm sorry.
Well, my dear, would you like to come up before we unfold it?
I'm pretty sure that will end poorly either way. And I throw the box upwards towards our rather impatient tabaxi, and then I climb out of the water.
I will put it just on top of the water. Say conveyor. Quickly
Hold it like that and then drop it as you say it.
Yeah.
Considering this is
Eclipse, we're gonna need it sloop. We're going to an island.
Yeah, we're gonna need a big ship, not a little
longboat.
ship.
We're gonna need a
we'd
bigger
be
boat.
Dead.
Had to be said.
You are.
Okay. Oh yes. What was the other thing? I forgot.
Sloot.
Sloop.
Sloot.
No, sloop.
Sloop.
With an E. A sloot is what you call someone when you've had a drink and you think that they do naughty things.
No, a sloot means end in Swedish.
Yes.
Oh,
A sloot.
yes.
Sloot.
You say sloop, and the boat suddenly folds on the water and turns into a small ship, but a ship nonetheless. And it looks pretty damn good. Like a little floating building. And there's some oars that you're looking at and going, okay, do we have to use those? And a little square sail that is currently packed.
Farewell just sighs. He looks at the oars and sighs and remembers that he's the only one that has strength in the entire party. And just...
Oh, don't worry, darling. We have sails.
sighs.
As soon as we get out to open water, it should be fine.
You're only going
He
to be using
just
sails when you've got the wind.
Sigh.
You're going to need a crew.
All right. Eclipse,
are you
darling.
a
Did you
crew?
want a
I'm
crew?
sorry, who are you?
I'm the captain of the Triumph. Did Aiden not tell you about me?
He's not all that talkative.
I don't talk about anything, to be honest.
Now, this is where I'm going to have to put my hand up and can't find her damn name in the notes from the one shot we did. I remember the description, I remember how she sounds, I remember her demeanor, but the the name, unfortunately, is lost to me. She goes, "I'm the captain here, captain of the Triumph."
Does that make you a shackleman then?
Yes,
She-
farewell.
Unbuttons the shirt, the blousing shirt that she has, and pulls the sleeves back, and you can see that they're two incredibly scarred arms, and she has burn marks where two shackles once were. Not the child of a slave. Was a slave. Until I showed them what for.
Good. So, can you recommend a crew to us then?
Simon, for flavor, can Tuki stick her head out, shout if she can join, and then be told no?
So a small elven caster says, "Oh, I'll help," and gets shushed back into the cabin. It's Corinne's other character.
I can imagine that it's probably one of the Triton hand and then a big human hand that just comes in and drags her back into
Oh yes, 'cause
the.
of course you were playing a Triton. Yeah.
Glory was playing the Triton.
I
playing
was the
human.
Triton.
I just realised you don't realise who I was pointing to when I was pointing to Glory.
Oh,
No, I wasn't pointing to Glory. I was pointing to Felicia. I'll get this right one day.
one day.
So she gets pulled inside, and the captain, she goes, "You can have me, crew. We can stay here a couple of extra days. We got favor in the city." And she turns around and goes, "Skags! You're earning something on the side. Get down there." And
Skags.
a rowdy bunch of crew poke their heads up like meerkats, and they're like, "Yeah!" And they start charging off the boat, off the ship, and she goes, "First time to get there gets the contract."
I try and lean
you end
to.
up-
And we get stormed!
I try to
We
lean
get
into
10
Farewell or someone
sweaty
as,
stags.
and I'm like, "Who's the captain, though?"
Simon
Why are you
needs
looking
to
at me?
re-listen to the one shot.
We still need a captain.
You?
want to join us? I shout up to the captain person.
The captain's
Do-
just a
do
leader.
you-
The captain's just a leader. The crew will be able to do the boat. You do the fighting, although they'll chip in because, well, you can't stop them. But they'll make the boat run. They will do all the bits that's needed. They just need a strong leader. I'm sure there's one amongst you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Farewell nudges with his knee, nudges Cora forward. God, fucking God.
Yeah.
Show your charisma, Kate!
He's
I
like-
don't have my pirate hat. I need to go get it after the break.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Come on, go on."
Did you say that in
little
character,
knight."
Kate?
What? My pirate hat?
Did you say I don't have a pirate hat?
No,
Yes.
Well, sure, yeah. She's gonna be like, "Hey, where'd you get your hat?"
And you suddenly are wearing a hat.
Never mind. Is that from this armor
The
stuff?
ship shroud.
Right.
Yeah.
The ship shroud, yeah.
And
I knew that.
as you get as these sweaty, enthusiastic, most of them really young, so kind of like between the ages of 19 and like 22, all come on, and they are all different races, all different genders, who are coming on, and they're giving what I'm sure they're trying to rip off kind of like good salutes to make a good impression, but they're all coming on, and yeah, they've got the sweat of hard work on them all, but they seem to be quite jolly. A lot of them seem very, very scarred, and you do notice that some of them actually have, I'll say 2 of them, actually have at least one shackle still attached to their hand with a broken chain, about 3 or 4 links of a broken chain running from the shackle as they step on. And one of them comes up to you, he says, generating a half-orc female. And she's missing all the teeth on the left-hand side of her face. And there's a scar that seems to have been made by some sort of wild creature. She walks up to you, and you can see. Would you see that? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't see that. She walks up and says, "You the captain, then?"
Aye.
And as you say that, your entire outfit turns into a captain's outfit.
See?
Could
I use thaumaturgy to make it sound like there's a round of applause that appear in the background. Thunderous applause.
I add my minor illusion to it, like the sound, just like more applause.
The orc just raises her eyebrows, and she, as if to say, "Okay, you're very weird, but sure." Bear in mind, this half orc is probably about 2.5 times your height. And
corresponding her 3 foot 1 inch, trying to like look 3'2".
Yep. And she kind of gives it a kind of pregnant second, and then goes, "Ola Sobanra, at your service. I'll be your first mate if is all well with you." Representation of the shackleman. She puts her hands up to gesture the people behind her. You notice that she has no scars on her arms. She has no shackle marks on her arms. You notice some of them have tattoos of shackles. Some of them have marks where a shackle's clearly been rubbing over the ears and scarred up. She has none of that. She seems the least scarred of the lot, other than the one terrible scar, which, as I say, looks like it was made by an animal.
Okay. I mean, he's my first mate, and these are my other mates, but you can be a mate too.
If he's your first mate, I'll be a bosun then.
I mean, you could be a mate.
yes.
We could be friends. It's fine.
She
sure.
looks at you.
She
looks at you kind of squinting to see whether or not you're joking or not, and then kind of relaxes her face into a kindly, "Oh my god, she has no fucking idea what she's talking about." And trying to hide the patronizing tone in her voice, she goes,
Cora.
when someone says bosun, they're meaning me, okay?
Yep.
It means that I'll look after the crew, I'll look after the skags, and if any of them needs whipping, I'll do that too. Just leave it to me.
Yeah.
You remember the name? Ola, yeah?
Ola, you're on it.
Ola Sobakra. Yeah.
Sobakra. Aye, aye. Onward!
Why did we make Cora the captain? She's never been to sea.
No.
Farewell.
I really don't know. I thought it was really good. Look, she's got, and like he hurries like clips and like Glory Tom saying, look, she needs this. She's got, she's got the night thing going on. She's really trying to grow into this role of responsibility. I really think this will be good for her. Can we just go with it? And for whatever you do, don't laugh when she says the wrong thing. Anything.
I'll try.
No.
I'm gonna roll charisma
Promise.
saving throws whenever something happens.
Promise.
So, Farewell, with your passive perception, you do see that as Ola turns to the other Skags, who thankfully are going down into the rowing stations and kind of setting up this stuff, setting down like water bottles and rations and things like that. They're kind of limbering up as if for a big game and all the rest of it. Apparently they're just going to sleep on the oar benches quite happily. The Skags apparently really enjoy a life at sea. You do notice they brought quite a bit of grog and rum with them as well, to keep the rum rations going. And Ola does, after this bit, she does go in and start to say, right, we're going to sort out these rations. I'm not going to have you pissed. But as she turns away from Cora, you do notice that her tusks, which are about an inch, and normally she stores them under her lip, you do notice that she suddenly rearranges her mouth, and her tusks are pinning her lip down so she can't laugh. And she's walking down into the gang chambers. Oh, the gang. It's the rowing room, and she's biting her lip to stop herself from laughing. And she heads down there. And as she does so, as she walks in, you notice that she does actually make one of the many accepted signs for Melora, and she touches her brow and puts her hand kind of sweeping the floor, not straight down at the floor, but kind of level at the floor as she goes in, just to bless the boat with Melora's blessing. And yeah, she goes in there, and you hear her sorting out the rum ration.
See that? Like that. See? Pinned mouth. We just really just support her. She needs this right now.
Okay, come on, you
Really
lad!
good for her.
Lubbers, let's go! Do something.
Oh, it's gonna be a long trip. Coming, Captain.
Aye, Captain.
It's as
I assume Eclipse has actually been on boats before, because obviously she's
as a passenger, yeah,
she's
you have to
traveled.
come from Ostran, yeah.
Yeah, so I am a bit more experienced than the other guys to be on boats.
Only in that you've been a passenger.
Excuse me. I'm made of fucking water. Piss off.
Yeah, but have you been on boats?
Or do you just swim around?
No, he comes from a family of sailors and carpenters, but no, of course he hasn't. But he's like, I'm made of water. How bad can this be?
I'm made of water, therefore I know about boats. They float on me. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I'll be in the... Well, whatever cabin strikes my fancy. There has to be one that's a large
There's only one.
There is one... well, there's two cabins in total. There's the gang cabin, which is where the oars are. And then there's the passenger cabin, which is where all of you guys are. You're sharing one little caravan on top of this boat.
But this realization is Farewell is overjoyed, and he reaches into his bag of holding and just starts pulling out, like, he's got a hammock that is like quite like intricate. It's got all these beautiful sort of like hand stitched sort of like
Farewell's super excited for the
bones and
sleepover.
feathers.
Yes.
All of this sort of
is his
stuff.
dream of trying to get us on his caravan, but with a boat instead.
Yeah, he's got all his caravan equipment, so he's like, "Yep, I'm ready for this."
Yeah, and then he pulls out one. He pulls out one that's roughly big enough, I think, for Cora, and then he sort of goes, "Oh shit, I'm the other two. I'll figure it out." And he sort of starts shuffling around and trying to make like the place as like homely as possible. He's so happy.
Yep. There's a tiny little
Right.
squirrel stove, which for you, Farewell, you've been cooking on squirrel stoves for most of your life, so that's absolutely fine. There is a tiny little cargo bay, and ordinarily, Glory, you'd be able to turn that into a room, but it is chock full of supplies.
Mm.
I'm gonna go up to Eclipse, and I'm gonna be like, okay, believe it or not, I've never done this before.
Oh, you had me completely fooled, Cora.
I know, great, hot. I know it's the hack. Where are we going? I have no idea where we're going or how long it's meant to take or anything. So,
Cora,
alright,
tell the crew that Eclipse is the cartographer. She leads the way while you're the
I'm the
captain.
navigator.
oh,
The
okay,
navigator.
That's the C word.
okay,
You are the navigator.
okay.
Yes, I have the map here. We are currently here, just leaving, preparing to leave, and we are trying to go here to this island here. It's not too far. How far is it, Simon?
By your reckoning, it is about. It's a good 4 inches on the map.
Yeah.
No, I will give you a natural 20 on this. It's about 4.5 inches on the map.
Oh my! Ooh.
Do I have any
Cancel.
idea approximately how long that would take in like days, hours?
Your background is urban bounty hunter, and you're a rogue. Summoning
go
all
up
your
to the map
experience, you go. No, I have no idea how fast ships go.
I go up to the map and I have a look and I'm just like, And I look down into the rowing bit where I go, Ola,
Yeah.
how fast can this ship go?
Oh, it's not bad. I mean, it goes around about. Let's see. With the prow shape we're talking about here, and we don't need to worry about the barnacles because obviously you've just made it. So I'd say if it's magically assisted, and I assume that it is, I'm assuming it's gonna go. Simon quickly looks at the folding boat, and it doesn't give a speed. Thank you. It goes around about 30 knots.
Oh,
At which point you go,
Okay.
hang on, is that a distance or a speed?
yeah. So how many miles a day would that be?
Simon's Googling frantically.
So serves the DM right for making us ask questions rather than just going, Pharaoh, roll survival.
Oh, damn it. You guys don't know anything about it. Sorry, not 30 knots, 13 knots. And
I was going to say, otherwise, that's the world's fastest fucking sailboat, especially when it's got one sail. Yeah, they're rolling out something like, those like old like Tiny Toons and Warner Brothers cartoons where like it pulls back and then goes.
So you can go quite far in this at 13 knots. That's 14 to 15. It's closer to 15 miles per hour. So it's a fair old trip. So we are talking. Assuming that everything goes well, you're covering 360 miles a day.
Okay, based on that, and the fact that Farewell is actually quite used to using maps to navigate where he needs to go, even though they're based on land, on the basis that he understands now, roughly converting to working on the land, how long does he think Farewell will take to get to the island?
Okay. Ola does spot you as you're doing this. You think it's around about 2 days. And then she comes up and goes, no, you're going to be going against the stream here. What you want to do is come up here and then use the stream to come back this way. And that'll actually keep you at your top speed for as long as possible. It's about 3.5 days to get there.
Okay, it's 3.5 days, Captain.
Okay. Now what do we do?
We go.
Have we not even left yet? Let's go!
You look to the side, and the dock is still there, and Ola's like, "Can we weigh anchor?"
Wait. Okay, hold on, Captain Thinking. It's 3.5 days. Did anyone bring any supplies? Maybe we should get some supplies.
The supply room is filled.
Yo, what? Supply room is filled? Oh,
yeah.
Does that just happen with the boat?
All the cargo bay is in. All of the cargo's in.
Fellow stood like behind Decorum because he's so much taller than her. He's mouthing to everybody in front of her, going, "Yes."
Okay. Let's away. Ola, Bowman. Let's go.
Bosun!
Weigh anchor! Weigh anchor! Weigh anchor!
Weigh the anchor.
You can hear as there's a sound of a chain being clinked somewhere in the ship, and you're there like, I'm captaining. This is how you captain.
Yes.
I can imagine like she stood there like near the ship's wheel as one of the crew, and she's just kind of got her hands on her hips. And she's staring wistfully into the distance while someone's desperately trying to fan her to get like a hair and like her tassels and stuff moving in the breeze because they're just not going quick enough. And she's like, "Faster!"
Does anyone have prestidigitation? This needs to be done.
Yes, Glory has it. She can do it.
Yes.
Glory's just there.
I'm just waiting for like an hour later. Cora is vomiting over the back of the ship, like a lot.
As soon as the speed picks up,
"It's okay.
Should
It
never
happens
be.
to everybody."
When will it stop?
One of the reasons why I'm laughing is the next thing I was going to say is that you hear the word heave, and you can these all start to hit the water, and slowly but surely the ship starts to move, and you're like, yeah, this is good. The ship is moving. It's not a problem. But by the time it gets out of the natural harbour that Ostergard has, and the whole ship starts to move, there's a different form of heaving going on.
oh dear. You
it's
cater,
like,
sweetie.
you look a bit green.
How long? Are we nearly there?
I
It's been 2 hours.
3 days and 11 hours left.
So, yes, nearly there.
Yeah.
We're very nearly there.
So
it's like no. I have a story pertaining to this. When I went to Spain once with my parents on a bus, we went we went to Gothenburg, and I vomited when we were in Gothenburg and asked if we were there yet, and they said yes. We're nearly there. When it was like a day left on the journey.
Oh yeah, been there, done that. Bus ride to France. Yeah.
It's Farrell will be just very gently, like just rubbing her back, occasionally giving her sips of water, and just going, "It's fine. It'll pass. It happens to everybody." Interesting fact. This is how I feel all the time. This is the first time like I've ever walked anywhere and felt completely normal. Do you know how weird it is to be walking on land that doesn't move? This is nice.
You notice that
Yes,
he seems
it
to
is
walk around
pretty.
no problem. Whereas every now and again, Glory, I'm going to say Eclipse probably with her roguish instincts is able to roll with it. But every now and again when the ship just lurches, you do find yourself grabbing something nearby, Glory. The Skags all seem to ride it really, really well. They almost anticipate the movements of the ship. And you notice as they kind of bend their knees and sympathetically move with the ship when the ship moves. It's like they can predict the movements. Over the 3.5 days, the Skags don't tend to let up on this really positive attitude that they have. There's something joyful about all of them. And you learn a few things. So one of the things you learn is that Ola was born with a male body, and went to because you start mentioning that you're going to somewhere that's to do with Pelor, and she says, "Oh, yeah, I've got fond memories of temples of Pelor. That's where I had my rite of true restoration," and recalls that trans folk in Illyria, when they are born in the wrong body, which the gods are not perfect. They have an automated system of acquiring bodies for people called birth. And if you are born in the wrong body, you can go to any grand temple and ask for the rite of true restoration. Rite of true restoration can only be performed by an archcleric. And once it's performed, your body transforms to what is the correct form for your identity and your soul. And you can see that this is a fond and celebratory tale for Ola, as she tells you of what is a defining moment of her life. And considering she lived in the sticks where there was no grand temple, she took this whole journey, almost a pilgrimage. But it wasn't to do with faith. It was just connecting with the gods and saying, "See me as I am," and for that transition to take place. You get to know the rest of the crew as well. I'm not going to give you all of the names, but they're a really happy lot. And you notice that they don't seem to need a bard because they have got tons of sea shanties and stories. Some of the stories that they will relate to you after a while aren't the best as they get to know you, because some of them are rescued members of the Shacklemen who were enslaved by some of the more evil members, societies within Illyria or factions within Illyria. They were liberated by the Shacklemen and allowed to live their lives as normal. Ola is actually the daughter of a previously enslaved human and their orcish husband.
I will be at...
I love that you say evil society.
Evil, classless societies.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They're not as classy as Atlas are.
Farewell being farewell will of course ensure that each crew member has a full physical medical check, and that anything that ails them, including dentistry and all that like are dealt with. Noticing that
We include dental.
We do dental. We are. Hey, if we are going to be pirates, we're going to be the type of pirates that includes fucking dental. I'm having.
We may be pirates, but we're good employers. We've got a good policy.
Yeah.
We've got full medical coverage, including pre-existing conditions, eyes and dental included, and you should
Why
see
are
our
eyes separated?
401ks.
Because if you need glasses.
It goes, yeah. When someone goes, "Why are eyes covered?" Everyone just points at Glory.
The safety goggles
Yes.
acid. So, around about you make good time, and around about 3 days, you're in the fourth day, and it's about mid-morning. The crew are in good temper, and you can hear them sing. And I'm sorry, this is the only sea shanty I know, so I have to do a pitch before I sing it, and that is: check out Flintlocks and Fireballs, a fantastic pirate D&D podcast. As they're singing, "Our land lies on the sabre's edge. Our cities are a powder keg. Brother chains brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see. So gather your muskets, gather your spears. We'll plunder the shores of Lands Ho!" And a island is just breaking the horizon.
During this time, we had some wonderful sleepovers in our little cabin.
I'm sure.
Lots
Yes.
of sharing. We got lots of details we did not want to know from Glory. Just of things.
There's completely no filter there, so it's always
Excuse
overshare.
me, I am always there for girls' nights. Sleepovers.
Oh, farewell! He sat outside Oh,
No. You're included in the girls' nights. We are painting your nails. We're talking boys and girls.
Don't clash with the skin. Yeah, the skin has demand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he's got like really quite specific skin color. Yeah, it's a rather unique shade of green.
Oh,
That's
trust
gonna
me,
be a
Glory
fun
has
one.
nail
Turquoise,
polish
it's
for
lit.
everything.
I'm colorblind. I see as many colors as Windows 3.0 does. Therefore, peach is a fruit, not a color. Turquoise doesn't fucking exist.
It's a lie. Fake news.
The
Fake
only
color.
color
Fake
that
color.
doesn't exist is magenta, because that's a lie our brains make up.
Yes, magenta's the one that doesn't exist.
See, Martin.
Turquoise does exist on the visible light spectrum.
Okay. Canon. Turquoise does not exist in Illyria. So the you see the land getting closer and closer, and it is a strange bulbous-shaped island. You almost feel like the underwater. It might be kind of mountainous. If the water wasn't there, that this would, you can imagine this going down, and this is somehow some strange humpbacked peak of a greater landmass. And as it approaches, you can see that there is a building. The building is a bit of a strange design, largely just being sympathetic with the, as I say, this bulbous shape. There seems to be one large tower and two smaller towers. And over the top of all three of them, there is a bridge which makes up a kind of roof that they can use to go from tower to tower. There seems to be one main swell to the island, and then a smaller swell, which is where one of the towers is on. And you can see that there are people in a form of light armor and pennants that seems to be quite filthy. You can't see what's on them at the moment, walking around the island. There's a glint of metal coming from the head, so they're wearing maybe a helm, or at the very least a circlet. But it's not quite enough to make out every detail yet. One thing's for sure, you can see a battered pier is the best place for you to dock. Ola steps forward and says, "There's markers over there. They're old, but I can see them. It means that you have to follow this way to avoid the rocks. Shall we?"
Yeah. Lead on.
Remember, we're getting paid by the day, but we're getting paid to protect the boat. We'll fight, but only if something comes onto the boat.
Yeah, you
Fair?
project.
Noah leans down to Cora and goes, "Who's paying them?"
Yeah.
Apparently
no.
they've just jumped on your boat, and apparently they will tell you how much they cost later.
Yeah.
Just like, uh-oh.
Who did you think was
Green
paying them?
organization is
Just send the note to the green organization. I'm sure Renata will pay for it.
I mean, like, this isn't a
I've got a
Renata
purchase
thing.
order here. Does anybody know? Purchase order? Purchase order,
nothing to do
anybody?
with the green
Purchase order.
organisation
Nobody
at all.
signed. Nobody signed.
Yeah. Does anyone take... I've got a corporate card. It's Amex, though. Do you take Amex?
Nowhere takes Amex. Nowhere.
Not even Dungeons and Dragons you can take Amex.
So,
Yeah, you
it's a little
protect
bit
the
early,
boat.
5 minutes
We can
early,
do that.
but
Yeah,
I am
let's-
going to suggest
idea.
that we make a bio break here. So we'll be
Aye.
back in 10 minutes, and when we're back, we'll be loading up Roll20 and starting the exploration of this island where no combat will happen whatsoever.
And thank you very much for the follow.
Yep. The Advent Studio. I've been following a little bit out the corner of my eye.
Yeah, thank you,
I
Advent.
was thinking of a sea shanty anyway, but when you said it, I was like, well, here we go.
Yeah.
And for anybody who didn't get it the first time, that's flintlocks and fireballs. They're lovely. And we will see you all in 10 minutes exploring the Hermit's Isle.
Hey.
Yes,
Hey.
Kurt got.
And now actually everyone is deafening
Kay's
me
got a
because
pirate hat.
these for some reason seem to be louder than everything else.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't have a
Okay.
pirate hat, which makes me sad. Simon, do you have a pirate hat anywhere?
Well, it's not exactly an essential part of life. So.
Yes. You don't know what
Uh-oh.
you're
Uh-oh.
Oh
The
no!
DM.
Oh
We
no!
killed the DM.
I killed the
Hooray!
DM. Was trying to get
Yay, we won the campaign. Everyone has legendary items.
Yeah.
Level 20.
Yeah, we've all leveled up to level 20. We're all really super important now. We've all got about 10 grand each.
That's just
All
how it
the
works.
Only
items
10,
are
100 grand, because 10 grand to level 20 is nothing.
Yes.
Well, it depends if
Okay,
you've got 10 grand. And he's back.
Well, I'd like to point out that we've got what it'll be is that we've only got 10 grand left because we bought ourselves an island and we built
Ah.
this huge island that we live on.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. You might only have
You go
cash,
to the
cash
left-
poor, but
Asset rich,
items,
exactly. We've got liquidity issues. But if you go to the left-hand side of our overlay, you should now be able to see our characters.
Yeah, we've lost our DM, but we've got
15
characters
points.
now.
Yes.
You can see the live character sheets with health tracking.
Woohoo!
How nice. I need to probably.
So you see as we all die now. In this combat.
Yeah.
I'm deeply concerned that I've got the lowest health out of everybody, and I'm the
Here we
one
go.
that can resurrect you all.
That's why you have the necklace.
Yeah, I'm also a little bit curious about if Glory's actually correct because it's been a while since I was on D&D Beyond.
Yeah. Well, we might have to update.
Update it.
I use mine for this one all the time, but like I know not everyone does.
Yeah, because we did do some stuff with Glory's items.
You tell me what I need to fix, and I'll fix it for you after the stream.
I think I might need conjure animals, which I got last session, and I couldn't find it. I've got conjure elemental, which
dear.
is something I've already got, but I don't know. I couldn't.
Yeah, I can't
search
figure
for
out a
it.
way to add that on. I'm still working on that.
Yeah, I was like, why is it not? It's a thing, but I just won't search for it. Don't know. Anyways,
Also, it
hi,
turns
we
out,
got DM
it
back.
turns
My
out
video
that
is
two of our players have decided to graffiti the map.
Of course they have.
Naughty.
No one can see that yet. I haven't gone to our combat screen.
Already?
Already. Show
You
the
can
audience what we're talking
fine.
about. There we go, audience. No combat. No combat
Yeah.
here.
All drawings. There.
Oh.
No!
Cat, get back on the boat. Bad cat.
I am on the boat.
Right.
Glory was on top of me.
Right. Okay.
No,
So,
that's wrong.
You
Like that, I think.
pull
Yes.
up to the island, and you can see that some of the crew are bolstering down the various cabins and forming kind of defensive bolt holes. So that anybody gets onto the ship, they end up getting crossbow fire, and they end up getting attacked. A few of them do come up onto the top, though. And you can see that there's somebody with a mean-looking trident that glows at the end. And also Ola puts on a tricorn hat, goes to the end of the boat and says, "Look, there's somebody there. They're waiting. They're just waiting." And you can see, if I just ping it on here, that it is...
Why
a
is
figure.
Eclipse on the island already?
I'm not. I'm on the boat.
She's on the boat.
You're not.
It
You're
must-
on the island. No, she's still on the island according to my.
Oh,
Mhm.
she's never been on the island. I'll refresh.
I'm gonna refresh too
Oh.
in case it's me and Nick. That's
Oh.
weird.
Reloading. Oh, reloading.
I'm on the boat.
Hold on, going back to a different screen.
Technical difficulties.
So I will ping it just again, just in case it Kate, that did need refreshing.
Hold on, let me refresh. There you go.
No, it was me, because now Eclipse is back on the boat. So, Nick, you probably need to refresh too.
No, she moved.
Okay. So at the end of the pier, well, I say the end, where the pier meets the land, you can see that there is a figure dressed in what seems to be a cheap mariner's armor. So not the magical mariner's armor, but you can see that it is mostly boiled leather with some small bradding on there to give a little bit extra protection, but also be something that can move when you're swimming. They are wearing a helm. The helm is metal, and there seems to be a very, very dirty, and you're not entirely sure if it's dried blood or mud tabard that has the symbol of the sun on there, which is one of the symbols of Pelor. And it's just stood where the land meets the dock, and it's just staring at you through this helmet, but it's not waved for your attention or anything like that. And it is just kind of glaring at you. Before we do this, though, I want you guys to do me a perception check. A lot's going on here, so it's your passive doesn't count. So just give me a quick perception check.
All right.
19! Go me!
I rolled appallingly. 14.
21.
Yeah, 10.
Okay. So, both Eclipse and Glory, as they're being very busy getting themselves up to the dock, you can tell that there's a slight change. Actually, I will give a lower DC for Farewell. So, Farewell, you have this as well. There's this weird smell coming from the water. It's not just brackish water. You've smelt brackish water before. You know not to drink brackish water. It smells wrong in some way. And I don't mean like sewage, and you've smelt oil. It's just something fetid about the water here. Something stale and rank about the water. It's quite unpleasant. It's subtle because you're not actually in the water, but there's an unpleasantness in the air, and it's definitely coming from the sea. There's another thing as well, and that is Glory. You notice that some of the shapes that are just underneath the waves aren't just rocks, but you can see that there is a long, broken down wreck of a boat, a ship, that is off the edge of this island.
That means fun things and rainbows.
Yes.
So
whatever it is on this island, they are not friendly.
Well, we don't know that. We've not said hi. I mean, he's not attacking us. He's just watching.
The figure doesn't answer.
Hi
You
there.
can tell now that you're closer that the figure is somewhat wet, but it's not been raining. It's windy. It's
I cast
cool.
Eyes of the Grave.
Yep. As you do Eyes of the Grave, it goes, and the whole island lights up like a Christmas tree.
Son of a bitch.
And so does the water.
Oh,
Fun!
The water's
come
dead!
on, please. Oh, no.
What's wrong?
Yeah.
They're all undead.
Well,
Like,
we kind of
all of
expected that.
them.
I mean, considering the last place Eclipse Journey took us to.
Yeah, but they
True.
were ghosts. You know, that was different. They had gone
Ghosts
to their
and
rest.
ghouls.
Yeah,
Not to
but
mention those things that could kill you if they looked at you.
Hey, they're
Yeah,
not
but-
demons.
There is that. There is that.
For once, can we just have a normal, thing that we have to do that doesn't involve, mortal peril?
No.
We just came
Is that
out
a lot-
here knowing that we were
Had to-
probably gonna have to fight our way through something. Like, clearly, Eclipse isn't looking for something that's readily available.
I know, but I thought maybe this would
We
be
had 2 months of
opportunity.
downtime. We had 2 months
1
when
month.
we didn't do much.
A month.
2? A month.
A
1
month.
month. Yeah. Yeah.
I
not
know,
2
but
months.
I bought her that nice kit and everything, and I thought this would be a really good opportunity. I could get some reading in.
We just had 3
Go dig
days.
around in.
I thought you can deal with undead. Isn't that your thing? Can't you
It
just-
kinda is your thing.
Yes,
Deal
of
with
course
it?
it's my thing, and that yes, but now I have to work.
I take out a gold piece and I give it to him. There you go. You're being
No.
paid. Let's go.
Very, very funny. He still puts it in his coin purse though.
I actually then
I,
take out a another bag that's got 49 pieces, because actually I have 50 gold of farewells that we've never actually given over. So I'm like, actually that was yours.
wait, what?
Oh,
I can't remember, but I had
Oh.
50 gold that was yours when you weren't around. Can't remember where it came from.
Did you steal
I
this?
do believe that that was when we got paid after the first job.
Well, it's it's relatively recent.
Oh,
but
then I do not know.
But it must have been
Either
a time
way,
when.
Shall we go say hello to our new friends? And perhaps introduce them to the Raven Queen? Glory
my
will
knife.
pointedly
Meet my
look
god.
at Farewell.
The fact that you are finding such joy from this makes me wonder that perhaps going out there and killing them is not actually the right way to deal with this. But I won't
Fine, go
lie.
talk to them. Can you
I
persuade them
won't
to
lie.
not be dead?
I actually can't think of an alternative how to resolve this. So,
I mean, you can
Go
try
nuts.
talking to them. You are the speaker with dead, so
that's
And if
not
that
how
fails,
that
we
works.
always have acid.
I'm like, well, I'm captain, and I'm gonna Eldritch Blast the guy on the end of the pier.
Oh, God.
Good start to the conversation.
Okay, we started early.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. Surprise attack.
sure.
this is how we all die when every undead in this area came upon us.
Yeah, what happened last time I did this? I exploded a whole load of powder that gave us all spell scars. It's fine. I'm not a bad influence.
No.
Or the dog that you named.
Shh. Don't
We don't
talk
don't
about
talk
the
about the
dog.
We don't talk about the dog.
PTSD.
So, okay.
Poor dog.
Poor doggo. No tail.
Just because this will help us out for the rest of the combat, everybody roll initiative.
14 for farewell.
Okay. Felicia.
10.
Kate.
I rolled a 2. I have 2 on initiative, so 4.
Okay. I mean,
6.
you're the initiator here, so it doesn't matter.
I'm initiating, and then it all kicks off, and then I step
Six?
back.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah. Corinne.
16.
16. Okay. So, good to know. Where is Kate? Right. Okay. So, Kate flashes a Eldritch Blast, which I think at your level now is still 2 bolts? Or has it gone to 3?
3 is next level.
3 is next level. Okay, so roll me 2 attack rolls.
Okay. The first one was a 2, so that's plus
Misses.
6. Yeah, but yeah, that doesn't do very well. The second one was a 9, so that's 15.
So, the one where you rolled a 2 barely misses, because that's a 7, right?
6, 7, 8.
Or an 8. It's an 8. It barely misses because this thing just doesn't move. It's like firing at a post.
Yeah. But I'm
And
kind of distracted. I'm just going
it
like,
whistles past. The second one hits. Roll for damage.
What am I doing? Right, I need that. Oh, that's a 9. Sorry, what am I doing here? Eldritch Blast. So that's a 15 damage.
Okay. You watch as this blast from Cora's fingertips cuts a hole, and I'm not talking like a fist-sized hole. I'm talking like a dinner plate-sized hole in the stomach of this undead.
Like Death Becomes.
And it yeah, like Death Becomes, actually. Yeah. God, it's been a while since I've seen that movie.
I know.
And
Keel
I'm
silver.
all wet. Yeah, it just stands there. It's not doing anything. It just put a hole in its gut, and it's just standing.
Yep, this is all on you, and I push farewell.
So that's
Strength. It's a contest. Let's contest his strength, please.
I'm like literally like tapping you. I don't think there's any strength going on for sure.
So this is the surprise round, I guess. So
10.
the next on the surprise round would be Eclipse.
8. You actually nudge farewell forwards.
Excellent.
Well,
So as Farewell's being nudged, what are you doing, Eclipse?
Eclipse will be kind of, because yes, they are undead. They probably not very talkative. But she's gonna shout. She's gonna run up on the pier.
You have control of your token, so move your token.
Yeah. It's difficult to do while holding down the push to talk. So 1 second.
All right.
And she'll shout out to the thing, saying, "Hello there, friend. We come here looking for Jordan." Any response?
I love it. We come in
Sure.
peace. You're in pieces.
Yeah, after blowing a hole in its stomach the size of a dinner plate, you say, "We come seeking Jordan," and it goes, you hear from this tinny sound inside this helmet, "Jordan. Yeah. Come. Welcome."
He said, "Welcome, guys."
Oh, Eclipse, my dear. See, this is what Aiden was always complaining about.
This is why I don't take you anywhere nice.
No, not since she landed herself in prison.
What are you doing?
Yes. Yes. So I shouted on us that it does say it's talking and it's saying welcome. Can I prepare, Simon, a hide action in case, as a hold action, if someone tries to come in for attack, that I can, if I see someone doing something aggressive, that I can immediately do the hide action. And I would do that. I would do that by essentially jumping to the cliff and kind of hanging on to the cliff there, hiding there with my climbing speed? Because
Let's
I'm on the
see,
pier.
That's kind of finishing your move and no, I was going to say that you only have a bonus action left after your conversation. The bonus action, yes, you can use to hide, but the only hiding you can do at the moment, Eclipse, is one of two things. That's either jumping in the water or basically skittering with your climb speed under the pier. Because the pier, there's a gap between the pier and the water, you can go under the pier.
Yeah, essentially that. I will do that one if there's any aggressive movements.
Yep. You have a climb speed, so I'm going to say that if you do that, and considering you've got quite a lot of your movement left, I will consider it difficult terrain because it's slimy as hell under there, but I won't get you to do a check.
Thank you.
Just don't go in the water.
Yeah, I'm not going into water.
Yeah, and now that if you do end up doing that and you end up on the underside of the pier, that smell is it's really bad, really bad. So that's you.
Yeah, dead
Nick.
stewing water does not sound like a good combination.
So Nick, the water is glowing, and it's glowing to the glow seems to fade the further out from the island you get. There is an undead in front of you with a giant hole in its abdomen. What are you doing?
It's just have welcomed us, by the way.
I was going to say, first of all, did I hear him welcome Glory? Farewell. Eclipse.
Eclipse?
Fucking, I went through almost everyone then.
It's tinny, and it's kind of got a bit of a strange bass note from the inside of the helmet, but yes.
I was going to say, because I can read lips as well. I don't know if that helps in any way.
It's a
but
full face helmet, so read lips doesn't do anything. But yeah, you hear it. It's
Okay.
tinny, but you hear it. It's kind of a drone.
Concerning.
Okay.
Oh, and with your passive, actually, Farewell, you do notice now that you've had a second to take in the surroundings. All the others that look like this undead, and you've derized the grave so that you can see at least one of them. The next one along, because it's what, 60 foot, or is it much
Yeah,
shorter?
60 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can tell. So the island that you can see lights up like a Christmas tree. You make the assumption the rest will as well. The water around you does as well, and I'm pinging another one of the figures. That is definitely undead as well. You can see further that other figures who are dressed in exactly the same way are looking out to sea and ignoring you like sentinels.
So I use my full movement and walk up to it. Any reaction?
Nope. You can see what, I guess, slightly shining eyes. Not glowing, but shining eyes, as in glistening eyes behind the helmet. The helmet, for the most part, is completely covered and just has like an eye slit.
I wonder if you were a construct or a zombie. What a little lich. Warrior that refused to leave. Eternal guardian.
Guardian.
Guardian. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Take us to Juradan.
Juradan. Yeah. We know Juradan.
Concern?
You seek knowledge, power. Well, sure.
Knowledge?
join us. And the figure, still with the gaping hole in it, moves, and I'm going to just quickly draw some freehand, moves up the beach. I'm drawing it freehand so that Kate can redo it, and starts walking. It walks its full speed. I'll keep it in initiative at the moment. Up to the fortress.
Hmm.
That was weird, right? That was definitely weird.
Very weird.
Yes.
So we're not meant to fight them?
I have a terrible feeling that what will happen is that they'll either lure us into an ambush and then try and kill us, or we'll be taken to where we want, we'll try and do whatever we need, and then we have to kill them, or some combination of all of the.
That does sound plausible.
Right. Okay. I'm guessing
Can't
we're
say
still
I've
in
run
initiative,
into
but I'm going to
dead-
be jumping off the boat when I get a chance.
Yep. Can't say I've run into undead like these before.
No, I have a think that they are purposely been done this way, to act as guardians of the island.
Well, I
Okay.
mean,
Isn't that
Yes.
kind
You
of
said-
concerning? Because I thought Peller didn't deal with undead.
No, he didn't.
Heller
Eclipse,
might
when
not
did
be
you
necessarily the god of this island anymore.
Well, when did
What are they-
Pella take this island?
Isn't that even more concerning if that's the case?
what are they
Considering
guarding?
the
Is-
records. Huh. Oh well.
Simon, did he look, when I was stood in front of him and I looked at him, did he look that he'd been a long time, like he was some sort of ancient guardian, or did this look more like a recent thing?
So, ordinarily, you can see that the figures that are standing around the island have covered their bodies, for the most part, head to toe. It's only because your warlock put an inspection window in one of the zombies that you can tell that they're a zombie. And strangely, the hole and the flesh dripping from the hole has a slimy and semi-translucent appearance. The closest that you can kind of get is maybe like a cross between calamari and jellyfish flesh. Not quite fully translucent, but
Ugh.
like a strange rendered jelly. You're reminded of the jelly you get in pork pies. And also
Oh.
that you never want to eat a pork pie ever again.
Oh, that's not
Yeah.
true.
And yeah, there's even though it's walked off and it's most of the way to the fort now, its movements are erratic, but not kind of slow zombie. It's kind of got this erratic kind of lurching movement to it. Some of the blasted off flesh is on the floor, and you can see that it's like jellied eels, but instead it's jellied. You're thinking half elf, based on the few bits from your medical check.
But it's old undead.
Yeah, old
There.
but weirdly still moist. And this is one of those moments where moist really isn't a good word.
No.
Oh, he's chewy. Oh, okay. Chewy ones are always difficult.
Let's go, people. This is a
Chewie.
smart idea.
I
Yeah.
will
Are
flick
we
my
in initiative
earring.
or not?
You're still keeping the same initiative
Okay.
throughout this whole experience.
Right. So I'm gonna
at
wait
the
until I'm
moment,
told I can move.
Everyone is relenting attack. So until one of you says, I do a whatever, we'll come in at that point of the initiative. Other than that, you can move your
So
tokens
I can move,
as
okay.
close to... Yeah, you can move your tokens. So several rounds are going as you're following this this zombie ahead. And I'm going to just do something very quickly. So at the moment, you're seeing the map that you're seeing shows the roof. Yeah. So you can see things on there. There's a flagpole. There's a dragon head above you that's hanging off the roof. You don't know what that's about. Thank you, Neutral Party, by the way, for this excellent map, but I couldn't explain the dragon head. If I just switch you guys over momentarily to the interior map, which we might have to switch to at some point, which should be coming up on Kate's any second, you'll see what the floor looks like. So
It's
blacked
black.
out.
it's blacked out for a reason.
Because
That's fog
he's
of war.
fog of war.
Well, I realise that, but
Yeah.
we can't see what the ground looks like, so...
But you
What
can
do you
see
mean
what
we
the
can-
silhouette of the tower is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. It's different. Alright, okay, fine.
Yeah, so that it's different. So there is actually a roof that's a bridge going over the towers and over the top of you. So you're going to be moving through the kind of you're going to be moving through the section. So if I move, poor guy with a hole in him, up to here, and state that's where you guys went, and that's where you guys are. Something that I did here, but I will acknowledge, is that Glory fiddles with one of her earrings, and she disappears and reappears 10 foot away. Your earring of displacement is now active.
Active. Yes.
Okay.
I do not trust this. I shall take precaution. That's the right
Okay.
word, right? My English is not 100 right now.
Yeah, precaution. Yeah, that is the right word.
Nice.
So, I'm just drawing random things on the map now because I thought I had select on, but I didn't. There we go. So that's the route that you've taken. And I'm just going to move farewell. It does mean that we're going to jump between maps if you go indoors. So bear with me whilst I move certain things to correspond. But we'll go back to the roof one for now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, let's stick with the interior because you just know there's a roof overhead now and you know which areas that you can go into. So, you get taken to a door. So I'm going to move the guy forward again, Kate. And
Simon,
you kind of stand... Mm-hmm.
as we're walking up, and whilst he's a little bit ahead, Farewell sort of will be sort of trying to catch up, but also asking questions and going, so you haven't had anybody try and come here? They're sort of talking around maybe cultisty, taking things.
Raiders many suns ago. They joined our number, but they served better as fuel. They were not suitable.
Can you explain what you
Apparently,
mean
very
by
forthcoming
fuel?
zombie.
Yeah, we hear all this. I'm guessing we hear all this.
You are interrogating a zombie. That's a new one.
It's a very
All
different
should
kind
be-
of talk undead.
All shall be explained.
Yeah, he's gonna turn us into fuel. I don't like this. Can I shoot another hole in him or what? It didn't seem to work.
Yes, wait, Cora. He might have something. He seems to know things.
And to be fair, you've blown
Sure.
like a giant hole in him.
I know,
mean,
and it
look at
didn't-
that. And Farewell puts his hand through the hole and then takes it back out again. I mean,
Do me a dex check, please.
Oh shit.
oh, shit.
Don't say things. That's
Because
dangerous.
this zombie is walking as you're trying to do so.
Woo! Natural one.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Fucking. Hold on. Just to remind you, I am immune to acid, fire, and poison.
Noted.
I assume, is this a poison effect? Because if it is, I've got advantage.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Shit. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. 16.
Okay, noted. So, yeah, you put your hand in, and you get some of this jelly on your hand, and it's
I'm wearing
disgusting.
full plate.
It's disgusting. Oh, it's jelly. It's not just something that sits on top of chainmail. There's an ickiness
It's
that
plate
gets through.
mail. It's plate.
Yes, it's not a hazmat suit. It's plate mail.
It's a.
As
Oh,
in,
damn it! It's
the
my
plates
hazmat
have
suit.
gaps between them.
Aight.
So
That may have been
yeah,
a
Ew.
it's
mistake.
just some icky stuff is on your skin.
Why did
And
That-
you're mostly water.
that was
You
disgusting?
do realize
I-
you can like absorb that into you, right?
You know what? The childish part of me wants to start flicking it at people. I really can't lie. There's
You
a
have a
tiny part
Constitution
of
saving
me.
throw, and you got a
There's
Constitution.
a tiny part of me that's like, there's like 5-year-old like Nick that's just going, flick it at them. Go. You know you want to. Just do it. Flick it at them. But I'll behave for now.
There's a part of
hello,
werewolf
hello,
sounds
Aiden or Roan. I'm
suspiciously
not sure
like
which one.
Cora.
No, that's Corbin.
That's who?
It's another one of my friends. That's Corbin.
Oh, hello, Corbin. Sorry, I just see Desir, and I know there's a lot of you, but I assumed it was one of the others. Okay, so now that Farewell has gained a sample, let's call it that. The zombie is stood in front of a pair of double doors, and gestures with one hand and says, "The guide will be here soon." And if I just reveal a bit of the building here, so this is where the double doors are. And there we go, just ping that. By the time you guys get up to the doors, a figure emerges. So leave that gap in between, because I'm going to move the figure out. And this figure here moves out, and you can see, Eclipse, an undead tabaxi. A mummified tabaxi. By the markings, you can see that they are ancient Naru, and
shit!
they are covered in what was once a blade dancer's garb, which is because you guys have got fur, you don't need much in the way of clothes. This is to free up movement, because blade dancers are assassin rogues, effectively, and they are known for two things. First of all, they do ritual dances at the temple, as in the temple. And they are also, even though they do the ritual dances, they're also guards at the temple. They also have a secret duty that you know they have, but you don't know what it is. Yeah, because there's a lot of mysticism around it all. They are also sent out by the Naru to kill people who cross the Naru and threaten the Naru. Expert fighters. Except this one is mummified, and you can see this kind of cat skull with this almost leathered, shrunken head, kind of skin sticking to the bones. And it comes out and looks at you all with cold, dead eye.
I will give it a traditional Naru greeting.
Sure. You guys hear this this strange cat-like language come out of Eclipse. And
Meow.
you do notice that there's some parts of the costume that isn't Blade Dancer. Presumably some sort of mummification bindings that most of them have been taken off, but there's a scrap here or there now that it's right in front of you. And it gives a curt bow to you, Eclipse, which you kind of expect. Very elegant bow. It straightens itself back up, goes to address you, and this terrible, high-pitched, painful, torturous screech comes out from the throat of this creature when it opens its mouth. Presumably trying to speak with you, but as it exudes a form of sound, all you get is this banshee-like shriek. But it's not a pleasant sound, but it doesn't do anything bad to you.
Yeah.
And it's just standing there. And the zombie goes. The zombie behind you, the one you've been following, goes. We regret that you cannot understand the Vizier.
I bring out some paper out of my bag of holding and a pen.
Sure. You guys have got proper pens.
Yeah.
The you set it against there's like a barrel nearby for convenience. And you watch as this mummified tabaxi goes up to it and kind of watches with these dead, dry eyes, like dry fish eyes. If you've ever seen whitebait that you give to cats, it's like that. These are just kind of desiccated discs, and it's there pointing them in the direction of the paper expectantly.
Yes, I write out the greeting and I'm here to seek knowledge about Jordan and the heart of Jordan, and I give it the pen to write with, having shown what I did. Showing it that writing as well.
It picks
And
up
I
the
also
pen.
introduce myself as well.
Okay. It picks up the pen, looks at it with its dead, completely motionless face, and kind of puts it on the paper. Some of the ink comes out, and it starts to scrawl, kind of in a language that you're like, oh, give me a history check with advantage.
Alright.
Ooh. Oh yeah, if it's an old cat corpse, then it probably won't speak modern tabaxi.
Okay, so that is a 15.
Okay. You can't make out much of what it's put there. You presume that either its name or part of its name is Silk Whisper.
Okay, yeah, Silk Whisper.
And
I will turn. I'll turn
there
to
is
it
a
and
section that you do recognize because it's in a lot of the books on Jorodan that you have read, and the depiction on it is forbidden knowledge. Seek forbidden knowledge.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I will turn to it and say, "Is your name Silk Whisper?"
It bows in contemplation. Says yeah. It bows as if to say yes. It communicates it through
Yeah,
through motion.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. Do seek the knowledge. It's been lost to time, and I seek to find
Oh,
and actually happen to Jorodan and bring the heart of Jorodan back home to the temple where it belongs.
Okay. First of all, everyone other than Eclipse, do be an insight check.
Because I'm dumb.
Of course you are. You're a tabaxi. You're a cat. You can only focus on
27.
one thing. 23.
14.
Okay. Farewell and Glory, the shriek, now that you've had time to kind of process it, because this happens very quickly, there's an element to the shriek that you identify. and it concerns you. And
Oh.
the element of the shriek is rage, unbridled rage, and
Do we get the sensation that it's directed at us or anyone in particular, or is this simply an
no, but
expression of
considering your score and that it doesn't seem directed at any one person in particular, that should tell you something in its own right.
Yeah.
It's not
I
directed
think
rage,
I know
it's
its
unbridled
name.
rage in general. And so Silk Whisper has no facial expressions. It is a mummified creature, and it's the way it's moving, the way it's kind of gesturing and stuff like that lends to the rage part of it all. And yet, for some reason, you can see at the moment that Eclipse just isn't getting it.
I very gently place my hand on Eclipse's shoulder just to get her attention.
Okay? As you lean in, farewell only. Religion check.
Ooh, shit.
You should be good at that.
Yeah, that's
Not
that's
necessarily. It's an intellect thing, not a wisdom thing.
Yeah, but I'm a smart boy.
How much?
14.
14. As you're looking at it, you're starting to think of various mummification rituals. And some of the mummification rituals are to absolve of sin. So what will happen is after you die, your succeedants, is it succeedants? Descendants will come up and over a course of decades or even centuries, on certain days of the year, say certain things to absolve you of your sins so that you can go pure into the astral plane. Other ones, it's about the fact that maybe power or evil is within you and you're being bound because this is the best way to bind you, because they fear that you will turn into an evil spirit. You can't tell which of it's coming up. You've got like a list of about 14 different rituals that you've heard of. Being a death cleric, you have the access to them, and it's on the tip of your tongue. And there's something missing. That's the thing that's annoying you the most, because you are one away. The DC was 15 and you got 14. There's something on the tip of your tongue and you go, what's missing? There's something missing here. What's missing? I'm recognizing most of this, and you're looking at the bandages, you're taking in the scents of all the various kind of smells that are on the bandages and the particular type of incense, and you're just like, I'm just not getting it. What is it? And Silk Whisper is gesturing to Eclipse to go inside the building.
I very quietly whisper, I'm sorry for this, and I cast Turn Undead.
Ooh.
What? No, why? He hasn't attacked us yet.
What's your DC that I have to hit? And it's Wisdom, isn't it?
Hold on, Turn Undead. DC 18 Wisdom saving throw. All creatures within 30 feet of me is turned for 1 minute or until it takes any damage. A creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it can, and it can't willingly move it into a space within 30 feet of you. It also cannot take reactions.
And they have to move their full speed, yeah?
Yeah.
For its action, it can only use the dash action or try to escape from an effect that prevents it from moving. If there's nowhere to move, the creature can use the dodge action.
Okay. So you watch as Silk Whisper, and I'm going to reveal, because the doors are open, I'm going to reveal a bit more of the inside of this particular... there we go. You can see that far into the building. I'm going to say you could probably see all of this bit here as well. And you watch as Silk Whisper runs, leaps onto the table, and gets as far as this wall here, and is carrying off to one side and this, what would normally be a hiss, it's kind of mantling its face as if it's hissing, and this terrible scream comes out of it. And as it does so, the eyes explode, and there's these 2 beads of red light that
Why
that
did
make
you
up its
do
eyes.
that?
Eclipse, remember how the Lost Tomb had a floating skull calling himself Pride? I believe we've met Rage.
The hang on, let me just grab a few other things because all the zombies near Farewell do something as well. So you watch
Yes,
as
but
two.
it wasn't.
You watch as 2 of the
Corinne, it's
zombies run into the sea, and when
Yes,
they
this
run
is Eclipse.
when they run into the sea, the helmets fall off, seeing these horrible jelly-like faces. One of them is a dwarf, the other one is a human, and they run into the sea and leap into the sea. And as they do so, their speed increases in the water. The last one is the one that's down here, and that one runs into the water as well. And you notice, 35 foot, 50 foot, yep. You notice that some of the others that are further away turn and start lumbering toward. Well, they haven't done it yet. Are going to start to lumber towards you. Nick was the initiating character, so we're going to go into the next state. Sorry, the next initiative. So, oh, and
No
of course,
reason to.
the glowing eyes. By the way, Nick, that's
Mhm.
the thing that that was the 1 point that was missing. And by triggering this, you've seen that's what was missing. It's an Angatra. So this is a withered creature wrapped in gore-stained rags. They can pull back a tattered hood to reveal glowing eyes hungry with bloodlust. And the creature's form is animated by a powerful and malicious ancestor spirit and undergoes a horrible metamorphosis within a decaying cocoon, which it's now left. Its fingernails grow into scabrous claws. It just had really nasty looking claws out either way. Its skin becomes hard and leathery, and its withered form is imbued with unnatural speed and agility, which you just saw as it basically, you almost didn't see its feet touching the floor when it dashed. Within days, the Angastra gathers strength and tears its binding into rags, which is what you're seeing there. It seeks out its descendants to share its torment and wrath that it endured while its spirit lingered. And now that the Angatra has been triggered, it's looking at Eclipse with absolute hatred. You can see as this dry skin starts to split and contort in this look of this absolute rictus of pure hate. And it's focused straight at Eclipse. You are in no doubt whatsoever that once it's able to move towards you, it will be going for Eclipse.
It's got no, not at all, because it's got 10 rounds of like not being able to get within 30 feet of me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Once it's out of the 30-foot range, it doesn't have to keep dashing, does it?
No.
It's still scared of me for a minute.
Oh yeah.
All
yeah,
I know
scared,
is that it
definitely,
doesn't. It just doesn't want to get within 30 feet of me. So I'll leave
Cool.
it to you as to whatever it is. It
Oh,
wants.
don't worry, I've got the CGI for that all sorted. Yep, you watch as the 3 zombies that were in range and the oh, hang on, wasn't there one where Glory's standing? Yes, sorry.
Oops.
4 zombies. That one ran as well. So he's in the sea too. That's the one with the hole.
Everybody into the water.
Yeah. So
Pool
you've
party!
basically thrown 3
That's so
zombies.
aggressive.
Worst pool party ever. Full of jelly zombies. They've all ran into the sea, and the Angatra is just there up against the wall, hissing as you've called the Raven Queen's power using your channel divinity, and it was thrown to one side. So that is Nick's turn, and I just need to check something. There's a deep rumble, but other than that, nothing else. And then after that, it is Glory. What are you doing?
Because
A
deep
bunch of...
rumble isn't concerning at all.
Yeah,
Well,
just so you can't tell if it's seismic or a kind of growl or something.
If you attack it, it stops being afraid, by the way.
Yeah, if it takes damage.
yeah. I'm just checking everything around us. So these guys are gonna move towards us.
Yes,
that
the
right?
ones that weren't affected aren't the ones that were out of range aren't frightened at the moment.
Don't attack them!
No, do you, Glory?
Does melting people count as attacking?
Yes.
Technically.
Yes.
But you do you.
In
Have fun.
most cultures. In most cultures.
But not in
Eclipse is
scouring
begging everybody
culture.
to stop attacking them. They haven't been aggressive. Why are you guys doing this? You are destroying it for her.
It's a rage demon that's obsessed with killing its own lineage and making them suffer. Yeah, it's gonna die. And plus, this is a massive offense to the Raven Queen, so they're all gonna die.
Yes! This whole island is an insult to the Raven Queen.
You don't get
Technically,
to
they're
withdraw
all
from
dead
this.
already.
I'm blaming all of you.
What?
We killed
They're
everything.
undead.
Well, we're gonna
We're
put
meant
them
to do
back.
this,
got
aren't we?
it.
Yep, absolutely. This place needs cleansing.
Either way, those two over here are close enough to each other that a acid ball should hit both.
So which two is that?
These two.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So down by the small tower, like a storeroom, there are two that are just turning round now. On their initiative, they'll be walking towards you. And yeah, you want to throw an acid ball at those two? Absolutely. So Constitution saving throw for these guys.
Yeah.
And
I'm
con
gonna
is
bring out the D6s.
1 and 2. One has 18, and the other one rolled a.
Yeah, the DC is.
Oh, sorry. Hang on. Sorry, it's sorry. They've got a +3. So one rolled a 21, and the other.
Okay, so one saved. Sadness.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Is that a con save?
Yeah.
Okay, that
So
changes what I
big
need to do.
splash of
Thank you for that.
acid all over the foliage, all over these two sentinels, guardians as they called themselves.
7, 8. Oh, that's a good roll. And I get to add my charisma. So 10. 20. 25. 31. 36. Yep. 36.
Okay.
God,
So
the amount of dice you roll is just
36 and 18. Okay.
Oi, that spell is only 8d6.
only.
So you can see that you know that there's one that's just out of. You can see that it's just approaching you. That one gets the full blast of acid, and you can see that the flesh just starts to melt and slough off like jelly, and the blast of the gush of the acid hitting it makes it stumble and fall off the cliff. And that one is dead. Well, re-dead. It has gone from undead to re-dead.
Then it has gone from dead to melted.
Yep. So that's number 7 is gone. The other one is very heavily damaged, but still walking towards you as bits are dripping off the edge.
Well, not even goop can avoid being melted, so that's good to know.
And so you've killed one and very heavily damaged the one that's coming towards you. So, well done. Next up is Kate. What are you doing?
Okay. So. Nope. Nope. Where's this? What am I doing? So these guys are starting to walk towards us, or give the impression that they are.
Pretty much everyone that you can see that hasn't run into the sea have turned towards you and are starting to walk towards you.
Looking aggressive.
They don't really look aggressive, but they are just walking generally in your direction. The only one that's looking super aggressive is the Angatra.
Right. I can't see her anymore because she's inside, but she screamed and ran in. So I will, having seen this one just get nuked, I'll Eldritch Blast this guy as well.
Okay. Roll to hit.
Oh, man, my rolls today are shit. Okay,
At least, I mean, I would say at least it's not a 1, but you get to re-roll those.
Oh,
so,
I
like,
know. Well,
I
once
think
I get to re-roll, so when I roll a 3, it's a bit like. Okay, so I got a 3 plus 6, so 9 on one of them.
Hits.
Oh, does it?
It's walking towards you with no pretense of dodging.
Okay, 9 hits. Okay, well the other one was a 5 I rolled, so therefore both hit.
Yep, roll 2d10.
Oh, that's 13. Oh wait, no, hold on. Well, yes, but I also get the I get a plus 6 to it. Why do I get a plus 6 to it?
Powerful
did you,
cantrip.
I was going to say, did you take the agonizing blast?
It must be something like that, yeah. Okay, well anyway, that's 16, 19.
It's a smear about 10 foot long.
Oh,
It was melting beforehand as this telekinetic force from a flick of Cora's fingers hits it. The armor just falls apart, and this kind of, as I say, pork pie jelly just gets smeared across the grass, and there's various bits of armor all over them. It's literally just become grease.
Good job.
Yeah, it looks like somebody's put hair gel on all the ground. You done, Kate?
Sorry, I just moved over to next to Glory to get a better view on other stuff.
Yep, so that's your move. Anything with your bonus action?
Oh, I do have. I could. Can I hex her?
Yep. She is now hexed.
Okay, done.
Nice.
Let's have a lightning bolt.
Ooh, fancy.
Twisty lightning bolt hex. Okay. So if that's Kate done, it goes to the top. The Angatra leaps forward and gets as far as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 30. Gets up on the table and hits an almost invisible force and screeches this rage-filled, torturous screech as it's going up against what seems to be a divine wall of a wall of divine will. And it's just there with its burning eyes, just screeching and screeching now. It has these terrible claws. You notice that it has got these 2 ornamental knives at its hip, but doesn't seem to be wanting to use them. And it's just there, just these glowing eyes staring straight at Eclipse. That's all it can do. Oh, actually, might not be. Why do we do no, yeah, that's all it can do. So after that, the zombies mobilize, and you watch.
How quickly can Goop move?
Not very. So it took quite a few rounds to get as far as you did with your guide. You watch as one to the right moves forward 20 foot. Another one that's at the lower part of the island moves forward 20 foot. You can hear one kind of clomping around the corner and coming into the gully, which is why you can hear it. And then after that, there is... that one's afraid, that one's afraid. This one... So you hear movement inside one of the buildings. And then on the other side, the far corner, there is another sound of movement from one of the other buildings. They are very slowly encroaching.
Right.
And that was all the zombies. So the next one to act is... Eclipse.
The kitty?
Yeah, Eclipse. You have this glowing red-eyed zombie, mummy cat just looking at you. And
I
you
will
can see
berate everyone, and then I will go in there.
Okay. You walk towards it, yeah. And now that you're in there, Eclipse, I will reveal the rest of the room to you. So this room here, you can see that one of the zombie guardians.
You want to reveal it? Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there's
One
a
of
guardian
the-
in there too. Nice.
Yeah, there's a guardian in here, which was part of the movement that you heard. And there seems to be like a tower. I'll reveal part of that. So you can see there's a tower that's in there. And that's where you think that the zombie came from. And the Angatra still can't get close to you and is just kind of looking with its glowing eyes. Kind of in a way, an impersonal hatred, just a being of pure hatred.
Trying to undo whatever all the damage has been done here with information that I was about to get. I will try to talk to the Yangatra and to somehow calm it down.
Sure. Give me a persuasion check, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You do realize that once we've killed it, the farewell can always speak with dead.
I'm gonna use a luck point.
Just a thought.
Okay, so that is a 21.
Headphones. 21. Okay.
Yeah.
There is a screech that comes from it, but I will allow you to do a perception check.
Dirty 20.
Okay. In amongst the screaming, you make out what you think is an ancient word, one that you know of, and it is abomination.
What did you say?
Abomination.
Or abomination.
Yeah.
Is that screaming that at me or at itself?
It's kind of in the scream, so if the scream is there, abomination is kind of somewhere in the scream that you make out.
Okay. Oh, that makes much sense.
The rest of the room seems to be just a very humble living space. You can see that the map that's in the middle is actually a game board, and it seems to be a little trading game of trading vessels. And very old, but very beautiful, hand painted. There are weapons, just in case. You notice that the weapons are in disarray, and many of them are on the floor as well. The beds are old. Everything else is in disrepair. So, anything else?
Well, I can do a few things. I will use my bonus action to just do the dodge action for now.
Sure. Okay. Your action was obviously to do the persuasion check, so you go into a dodge action. So disadvantage on attacks on you. Okay. And next up is Nick. What are you doing, dude?
I'll go inside,
Mm-hmm.
have a look around. Do I? Is that a closed door? Is that?
The door is that door is open. And looking at the trajectory of the zombie, you have a feeling it came.
I'm going to hold a spell for the moment.
Sure. What is the spell you're
So
holding?
I will hold a guiding bolt at a second level.
Okay. And what is the trigger?
If anything attacks Eclipse.
Okay, as you wish. So that's Nick, and let's see. The zombie that's in the room with the Angatra, the one that's near the game board. I'll ping it now. This one here. You can hear from the helmet still on this one. You've wrestled control. My pet, my loyal bodyguard, is no longer so easily appeared. I did my best for her. Now you shall have to bring her the end she so sorely wishes. Yeah. And now it's Glory's turn. Just gonna bring my
Right,
mic a
so
little
we
closer.
need to bring the tabaxi the end that she wants. Yeah, that doesn't
Though,
appropriate.
if you attack her, the fear effect will end.
True. Better to get rid of everything outside first. How close are those two together? 20 feet. And those... yeah, I could do that, or that. Might as well preserve some spell slots. And I'll just cast a... Wait. Let's double check. How many? It's only 3 of them. Did I figure out about how much HP these guys had? Because I know I killed one, and one almost died at 18.
Well, yes. One almost died at 18, and one really died at 30. So, yes, you have a ballpark.
Oh well. We'll just throw twin chromatic orbs at these two.
Absolutely. Roll to hit. AC 9, we found out. They are moving incredibly slow, and they aren't even attempting to...
Well, considering my spell casting is plus 10, as long as I don't... as long as I don't roll a 1, I'm fine. So this
Yeah.
3 is a hit. Because that's 13.
Woo!
Yep, literally anything other than a 1 will hit these guys.
I was gonna say, well, the AC doesn't matter and everybody doesn't. No.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to build this island, by the way.
Yes.
I knew what I wanted to do a long time ago, right back when I made the Heart of Juradan meta story for Eclipse's personal storyline. And
Let's see if we can get a
yeah.
better thingy. So, the first attack roll is 21 in damage.
Okay. Yep, so let's see, which number is this? This is number 12. Yeah, I've had to... By the way, use Campaign Lab, it's amazing. So, yeah, you watch as this near skeleton of the zombie starts to shuffle towards you. You may even say that it only has 1 hit point left.
Okay. Yeah, because the other one takes a 24.
Oh, yeah, he dead. What's that? Number 10. Yep. Yeah, at 24, the acid gushes over this creature, and you just watch as it just smears across the... no, that was when it was a force damage that it smeared. This, it just collapses into a kind of Vaseline-y item heap.
Did both of them die?
No,
No,
the
one-
other one has 1 HP, and I'm pissed.
Oh.
Yep. You have now determined they have 22 hit points. 21 hit points makes me happy. Your 21 damage makes me happy.
Well, I will move in behind Farewell, cause ew. I ain't gonna let that one get too close to me. And he only moves 20, so I should be fine now.
I need to check something. Hang on.
Simon,
it.
don't be mean to me.
Damn
Thank
you,
you.
damn you, damn you, Glory Tuscacoca. Okay, okay, sure. Yep, cool. Okay, good to know. So, is that everything, Glory?
Let's see here. Movement, attack, bonus action in the attack. Yes.
Okay. Kate, what are you doing?
Okay. Cora is gonna blast this guy. I'm just gonna roll 1 first to see if I hit him with the first one.
You could
Oh,
have
my
killed
dice
off
hate
the
me.
other one.
Yeah, but with 1 hit
Dice
point.
jail! Dice
Yeah,
jail!
Well, like, again, that was a 1, so for me, 1's
What's
aren't
to
bad.
hit?
It's 2s.
Because
2s are bad. Okay, that's
Yeah,
Right,
but
'cause you...
Cora, you have ridiculous charisma. You should have at least plus 10 to hit.
It's plus
Yeah.
11 because she's got a 6
Yeah,
charisma.
Yeah.
Yeah, so plus 11.
Oh!
Yeah.
I've been looking at my +6 modifier.
yeah,
No.
So
only
I've been
That's
looking
not
at the
it.
wrong one.
that's your damage. Only a that's your extra damage. Only a 1 misses with you, because they have an AC of 9, and that is lower than your to hit.
Yeah, yeah. So am I looking at the +6 or the +11? I'm getting confused. Again.
Plus
Plus
11.
That's 11.
Plus 11.
+11. Okay. Well,
Plus-
anyway, I
Yeah,
hit.
plus
rolled-
11, and your damage is D10 plus 6.
Right. Yes, the damage is right. Okay. Anyway, I re-rolled the 1 because I can, because I'm a halfling and they rock. I got a 6, so 17.
So you have to roll
hit.
2 1s in a row to miss.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So I hit that one, and that one takes 8, 9, 10, 11, 14. 8 and 6, 14, right?
Okay, that's the first
Need to do
bolt.
22 in damage.
Yes.
Yep.
So I will.
So the first
I
bolt
will
definitely-
try and hit him again.
Yep. Tell me if you roll 2 1s in a row. If not, you hit.
Oh shit. Okay. No, that's a 15 I just rolled. So that's that, and damage. Oh, it's a 10, so 16 damage.
16. So a total of 30 damage.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Oh.
Dead.
Yeah.
So dead.
Okay.
Yeah, this thing just
And I
splatters.
get a finesse point! Yes!
Yes, because
That's
somebody
why
died.
I wanted her to kill something!
Because somebody killed somebody with magic and it wasn't you. Yeah, that's it.
Excellent.
You gain a finesse point. So
I'm
yeah.
gonna. Oh.
Although I do need to overhaul the finesse system, but for now it still works.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just flick your fingers and telekinetic force just goes in its direction, and the explosion is disgusting. It honestly is like these are wax statues made out of Vaseline, and it's just gone all over the place. It's really awful. The smell is.
I'm backing up towards the door and keeping my eyes peeled for other ones, including this one hit point one. But there's one behind here, which is going to probably head round at some point. So, and all these guys in the water might move.
Sure.
So I'm just staying outside, just for now.
Okay.
And that's it.
The Angatra, infuriated that it can't get any closer to you, its eyes start to burn incredibly bright, and it lets out this gigantic scream, at which point I would like everybody to do a charisma saving throw.
Yeah, I'm good at those.
The dice are happy with me. 21.
Good to know.
That is 27.
27.
18.
Yeah. Okay. And Cora?
16.
16. This curse falls upon you all, and you feel your sense of self being eroded, and this horrible sense of bitter, evil rage try to settle into your body, and it's the strength of your personalities, who you are as individuals, that pushes back against it, and your identity kind of pushes this fake corruption of your identity out, and it stirs. And that is where we're going to finish for the night, as we're going to finish this combat next week. Felicia has an exam tomorrow morning, and I want to make sure that
Good luck, Felicia. You'll smash.
Yep, I want to make sure you get to bed on time, so I will keep up with my with my thing. Oh, thank you, Albereth, for the bits. And we will carry on with this, and I promise you, I've only seen the tip of the iceberg of what the Hermit's Isle has in store for you.
Yeah.
And we will continue this next week, same time, Friday, 8 p.m.
Next to murder
UK
hobo.
Thank you very much for the
You're just worrying
I think
too
I saw
much.
your name earlier. Was it Jan?
Yeah. You joined the Discord too, so.
Oh, joined the Discord as well. Fantastic. Welcome to the chaos, and we will continue this with a lot of other misdirection, misthreats, misinformation.
General chaos.
It's what we do best.
Yes. And
Take
kill
care of
things.
yourselves. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next week.